Okay, let's pick up where we were. We set up the project. We got a sequence going. We got the sound down. I just know something about my windows, which you may not have. Is the left side here, the source here, then the right side here has all this like rulers on the edges. I said, where'd that come from? So in this case, again, remember that every window has its own menu, depending on what it is. If I right click on this, let's see if it has it here. Okay, it doesn't have it here. So I'm going to go to the other place to get it, which is down here in this lower right corner. There's a little wrench. It says settings for this window. I click on that. So more things to choose from. Oops. There's more choose. And then so if I scroll down here, I think this is called rulers. So it says show rulers with a check mark. I click on it. And now it will not show rulers. Therefore, I don't need the rulers. The rulers are there helpful if you want to lay graphics and you have a certain kind of template. You want to make sure that it's consistent with each one. You might have it. Next thing we have is the callouts. Now let me pull back up the assignment sheet. And down in here are some suggestions for shots. The copy, he calls out 6 carbs, 6 cylinders, and 1520 cc's. Okay, you may not know that much about motorcycles, and even if you did, you may not know this specific motorcycle. But here are the differences between carbs, cylinders, and cc's. So the carbs are these tiny little 3 little cans up top. The carburetors is where it takes the gasoline and mixes with air to make it a fine mist, and then goes into the cylinders, which is the bigger things below the carbs, because it's basically a gravity feed, and then that's where the spark plugs are, and then it ignites that mist of gasoline and air. So it's a big deal, and we only see 3 cylinders on this side and 3 carbs on this side, but the assumption is that there's 3 more on the other side. So when they say 6 carbs, 6 cylinders, this is a pretty big deal for a motorcycle. And then 1520 cc's is cubic centimeters. That's the displacement, the size of the hole where the cylinders, the pistons go in. So the cylinder measurement, the volume of the engine. And the bigger the number, the bigger the engine. So how's this compared to, say, an economy car? You take a 4-cylinder, whether it be a Prius or a Honda Civic or some other smaller car. Those cars generally only have 4 cylinders, and they don't use carburetors anymore because they use fuel injection. But if they were in the old days, we're still using carburetors. They only had 1 carburetor for all 4 cylinders. That was plenty. But here's a motorcycle that has a carburetor for every cylinder, and there's 6 cylinders. And the 1520 cc's is what you call 1.5 liter engine, and that's as big, if not bigger, than a lot of the smaller economy cars. So here's a motorcycle with 1 person riding on top of it. Too much information, but here is how to tell the difference between carbs and cylinders, and then this 1520 cc's is any shot of the entire engine. Okay, so what does that mean in our edit? So here we're coming to that section here. This is what we have so far.
It's the most powerful custom on the planet. 6 cylinders, 6 carbs, 1520 cc's.
Okay, there we go. So let's go to the section where he says 6 cylinders.
6.
I hear the 6. Marking in.
6 cylinders.
Marking out. I want you to only show me 6 cylinders during the duration of how long it takes him to say 6 cylinders.
6 cylinders.
There it is. So what is a shot of 6 cylinders? You say, well, there it is already. But, well, no, okay, it was a leftover. So I double click on Honda 1, and this is one of the better shots of this big fat cylinder. Okay, the second take doesn't quite work. So somewhere in here, it's moving. I like that. So right about there. So right as it's coming, right before it gets to the center, I mark a new endpoint here. Now if it hit the period, it will, oh, that's interesting. It put it down.
6 cylinders.
Okay, wait a minute. Oh, I see. This is the leftover shot. So let me get rid of this. This is too confusing. The old shot is there. So I click on the old shot. Notice it has a little white outline. I hit my delete or backspace key to delete it. Oh, okay, that's easy.
6 cylinders.
6 carbs.
6 carbs.
In and out, tight. Honda 2 is a great shot for carbs. And notice that the camera zooms or goes down toward it. Oh, there you go. So it's these 3 little things on top here. So I like the movement. There it is. And so I'm going to just put that in, hit period.
6 carbs.
All right.
1520 cc's.
1520 cc. So anything that shows the motor. Here's a shot. I mean, that works. See, now you can see that there's 2 sides to this thing. That could work. Blurry, that's okay. Here's another one. Oh, there you go. That's pretty good too. All this works. Here's a great shot. Whoa. I think I'm going to go for this one. Just the essence right there. Okay. So I just marked an in. I got in out here. Here we go. So let's look at what we just did.
6 cylinders. 6 carbs. 1520 cc's.
Okay. That's pretty darn good. Well, except it ends on the front tire. Let me undo that. Command Z. Still got the in and out marks. And so in this case, I had marked an in where I thought would be pretty good. But let me make this the out. All right, let's just say there. Make that that's the last frame I want to see. All right, mark this as my out. Now I still have the old in. Okay, that's where it's going. How to remove an in. To remove a mark, I is for in, O is for out. If you go Option I, it will remove the in. Option O will remove the out. The reason why I want to remove it because I don't want it to be confused. It always defaults to the in before it goes to the out, but I want this edit to be based on the out. So if I get rid of the in, it doesn't matter where it starts in, I just know where it goes out. And this is the frame I want to go out. So you can edit backwards, as it were, based on the out points. So I put that in. Let's see what it does.
1520 cc's.
There it is. 1520 cc's. It goes out exactly on my out frame. So you don't always have to edit based on in points. You can also edit based on out points. That's what I'm trying to show.
6 cylinders. 6 carbs.
Okay, so same thing for 6 carbs. I click on this, and if I hit the letter, I already have this shot there. I want the same in and out duration. I hit the letter X, it will mark the entire, X marks the spot. So it marks the in and out of that clip. Okay, as long as the playhead somewhere on the inside on the clip itself, you hit the letter X, it marks an in and out. So in this case, now how do I load this shot again? Exactly to this frame. I want the computer to find that for me. Yes, I know it's Honda 2, but let's say you have 200 shots. So in your bin. So let's just say, find me this one. Find me this frame that and I'm showing it to you as a reference in my sequence. Load that back into the source window of the original clip. What letter do you think I want you to use to find that clip? How about letter F? There it is. It loads it up immediately. Okay, so now exactly that frame marks right there. So I want this as close, let's say about there. There's my out. Get rid of my in, and then I make the edit again.
6 carbs.
Okay, I like that better. Okay, again, so I can re-edit it, and whatever the last thing you leave is the way it is. You can change it and all that. Okay, so let's get to the logo at the end. At the end, he says, oh, where's my graphics? Okay, Honda graphics, double click on the 720. There's a Honda logo. It's just a freeze frame. So you can pick any point of that. And let's specifically,
from Honda.
He says the Valkyrie.
The Valkyrie from Honda.
Now, most people would think you wouldn't see the Honda logo when he says Honda, but I don't think I don't want you to do that on this exercise.
From Honda.
Because right after he says from Honda,
The Valkyrie from Honda.
there's a big bang. I think that's more impressive. So there's the bang right before it, marking in. And I want this exactly out at 30. Notice the numbers here in the blue number, 3005. Back up with your arrow. 3000, marking out. Okay? So this has to be precise. You can't have commercials that last longer than 30 seconds when you broadcast it because, well, one, they won't accept it. Okay, put that in.
Valkyrie from Honda.
I think that's more impressive on the bang.
Honda. From Honda.
There it is. Okay, so those are the 4 points you have to hit. 6 cylinders, 6 carbs, 1520 cc's, any shot of that shows the entire motorcycle, entire motor, and then find the Honda logo on the bang. All right. The rest you fill in. Try to get me more than 20 shots on this timeline. All right? 20 shots, including the logo. 20. It's only a 30-second spot. If you only put in 10 shots, and how do you count them? Count each little box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, fill all the gaps in. Really make this really. Oh, by the way, that was kind of weird. I noticed that when I was clicking on it, that's not what happened to my arrow. Okay, arrow tool. The default is right up here. If for some reason it changes, always go back to the arrow tool here. Okay, so make your edits, make them tight, make them impressive. Tight editing. All right. That's it for this one. Pick up the next one.